Hey there, it's the one me, and today we are going to be talking about Modern Warfare's hardcore mode, or at least the comments on my videos about Modern Warfare's hardcore mode. These comments are some of the funniest I've seen in a long time, they're pretty easy to debunk, and so I found around 10 or 11 that represent the pattern I've been seeing, and yeah, we're gonna talk about them. And yes, these are cherry-picked for the purposes of the video, so yeah, you could accuse me of that if you want, but yeah, you'd be correct. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the bell icon to see when I go live, and I will see you in the gameplay commentary. Let's do it. Let's take a look at our first funny comment. Yeah, I don't think the complaint is lag. The complaint is me shooting someone in the back several times. My bullets shredding through their back meat is what alerts them to my presence. They then have time to turn around, locate me, ADS, and then one-shot me. All while I'm still getting hit markers. Core mode isn't worth playing. It's crazy to me that some people have this perception in Call of Duty. Really think about it. How many times have you heard somebody say, I just put half a mag into him and he didn't die? Those types of gunfights happen, you know? Connection is not perfect. Some weapons kill faster than others and it's annoying, to say the absolute least, but there are people that think this every game, almost every death. If you start shooting somebody in the back in core mode, and they have time to turn around, locate you, ADS, and one-shot you, you are terrible at the game. Or you for some reason got placed in a lobby that gives you 200 plus millisecond ping. Not only is this not a common occurrence, if it is, then you really suck. You're not actually hitting the target, because if you were, with most weapons in Modern Warfare, especially if you're in close to mid-range, you won't need more than 4 shots. And the weapons that require 5 shots at like mid-ranges, they fire incredibly fast and have a lot of margin for error due to that high rate of fire. So yeah, no. You're basically admitting in this comment that you're terrible or your internet sucks, and I don't know which is worse, because if your internet really sucks, then hardcore would also be a nightmare for you. So I'm going to just assume you're really bad at landing multiple shots, tracking targets, aiming at the head. Apparently even catching people off guard eludes you, so moving on. It's easy to make a montage when the other players suck. Go against a pro player in hardcore and you'd probably never get a kill. You know, it really is worth noting that pro players only play hardcore to level up their weapons and unlock camos on live streams. That's really the only time they go there. Other than that, they actually play the version of the game that requires some semblance of consistency and doesn't just reward people for spraying AK-47s downrange. And then there's more to say, but I decided to add this in. Everyone likes the cutaways to my face, leave me alone. This is like the dumbest argument. I've heard this before. Like, of course you got those kills. Those players are bad. If you fought a pro team, you'd lose. I've gotten these, like, since I started my channel, and I'd do little montages or my gameplay was kind of good, and people would be like, oh, well, those guys just suck. I don't control what enemies are in my lobby, alright? I just don't. And obviously, if I was playing against somebody who is paid to be good at the game, a professional player, an esport, an e-athlete, an esport. If I had to go up against an esport, yeah, I'd probably lose. You can't look at like, oh, well, if you went up against a pro player, because then you might as well also go to the opposite end of the spectrum, and if you win against a third grader. I don't choose who's in my lobbies, obviously, and so I'll just take the enemies that the game gives me, and I will do my best to defeat them. So yeah, you caught me. I'd probably have trouble fighting a professional player, an esports, e-athlete player, and then yeah, I'd also do a lot better if all my enemies didn't have thumbs. What do you want from me? This next one's funny because the guy just basically, like the other dude before, explains how bad he is and doesn't even realize he's doing it. So in real life, how many times can you get shot with a bullet? LOL. That's the point, dude. No matter what way you look at core, it's beyond ridiculous having to reload because you have 3 bullets left in your clip after shooting one person. Well, as far as I know, the only clip-fed gun in the game is the Kar 98, so if you have 3 left, that means you only fired 2, which isn't bad, but you're probably thinking of a magazine. Oh, we get that mixed up sometimes, I know. And if we assume that the average magazine holds 30 rounds, and you say you have 3 bullets left after shooting one person, you need 27 bullets to kill. That would make you very, very bad at Call of Duty, and let's just assume you're hyperbolic, and let's say you need 15 bullets to kill. That's still not very good, is it? I love these types of comments, there's lots of them on those videos because it basically is saying, hardcore players aren't bad at Call of Duty, it's just that when I go play core mode, I need 20 bullets to kill somebody. It's not anything to do with my skill level, you take that back. And again, cognitive dissonance. In real life, how many times can you get shot with a bullet? I don't know, it depends on the caliber, the range. Also, if it was like real life, then if I got shot in the hand by your 45, I'd probably drop my gun, right? If I got shot in the leg, I'd probably trip. You know, I get wanting a little bit more realism in your games, that's fine, whatever. I like realism mode in Modern Warfare for that reason, but you have to leave a lot of life out of your in real life argument in order to make it in defense of hardcore mode. Anyway, let's go over to the next comment. And although it's immature, I'm gonna try to start reading more of these in the voice that I originally read them in. So, it's juvenile, I know, but let me have my fun. YouTube algorithm failed me on this one. When someone makes a video to say core is harder than hardcore, well, no shit, everyone is a bullet sponge on core. I bet this guy loves the First Division game. LOL. When you get shot in real life, it only takes less than 3 bullets to kill someone, dipshit. Imagine making the real life argument in Call of Duty. Again, like, this is so funny to me. It's like, okay, here's one thing that's in Call of Duty that isn't in real life. In Call of Duty, wherever your iron sight is, your bullet will go. There is no bullet deviation in Modern Warfare unless you're using shotgun slugs or the crossbow. There's also predictive recoil patterns on these guns as well. So in real life, bullets will actually deviate from your front blade. And those bullets can be affected by wind, it could be affected by recoil, shake, the steadiness of your hands. Not only does Modern Warfare not have realistic ballistics, it doesn't even have realistic body multipliers. Again, people don't trip when I shoot them in the legs, and I'm sorry, dipshit, in real life they would. And again, bullet sponges. Who plays Modern Warfare and thinks this is a bullet sponge? God, like the time to kill is like 200 milliseconds on most of the meta weapons people are using. Bullet sponge, my keister.
Kill confirmed.
Saying, oh, people die easier, so that makes the game easier. Yeah, I don't remember you getting more health than other players in hardcore. Well, fucking no, of course not. But this is how a skill gap works. The amount of effort required for success in hardcore is lower. That's all I'm saying. It's a smaller skill gap. Like Call of Duty requires less mechanical knowledge than a fighting game or a milsim game, for sure. Call of Duty requires less precision and persistence than Halo. Skill gaps are different in every game. Luckily, you know, a Call of Duty player doesn't get to have Call of Duty mechanics versus an Arma player with Arma mechanics. That would be really rough for the Arma player. But in the same game, with a different amount of health between each game mode, we can start to compare. And my comparison objectively shows that in core mode, more is required for a kill. If you want to kill faster, if you want to kill more consistently, you have to have better aim than you do in hardcore. So of course, I don't get extra health in hardcore, and that's why I'm saying it's easy. It's easy for both my opponent and me. And while that does balance out the general competition of the whole thing, it is still easier. Less is required for my enemies and myself, which is why I don't like playing one life to live modes in hardcore, because somebody can just tag me in the tummy with a pistol and I die. Whereas in core mode, if you want to kill me quickly, you need to land 2 headshots, which is my go-to example. Call of Duty has a narrow skill gap, but a pretty high skill ceiling, and that's something I've always appreciated about it. It makes it accessible while still allowing you to grow as a player and become more proficient. Hardcore just requires a lot less gun skill from the player and a lot less risk for the reward. Unless you're playing stupid and rushing people head on and not using cover, which is just a bad idea in a game mode where you die in 1 to 2 bullets, so, you know, maybe just think before you comment on a video. Some serious overthinking going on here. No, actually not at all. In fact, I didn't go in as in-depth as I wanted to. I don't even think I used the words skill gap too many times. I really should have gone more in-depth. It would have actually cut out some of the confusion. So no, I wouldn't say overthinking. I'd actually say I rushed those videos a little bit more than I should have. But, you know, it's a simple topic in my head, but I think I should have explained it more. So overthinking, that's a bad take. The kid in this video probably never held a real gun. Also, if you're arguing core versus hardcore, it means you need to suck start a 12 gauge. Listen, buddy, just because nobody will suck start you doesn't mean you have to be an asshole in my comment section. Also, because I have held and fired weapons and am not a child, I know that hardcore isn't any more realistic because of the nature of Call of Duty and how ballistics and weapons work in Call of Duty. So it's actually because I fired real weapons, funny enough. Also, how did you type that with your little paws? Oh, who's a little doozer? Who's a doozer? Sounds like you die more in hardcore, and that upsets you. Haha, sounds like you play hardcore because landing multiple shots is too hard for you. Why attack people for playing a different mode? Who cares? I fully agree. That's why both of my videos were dedicated to the hardcore players that constantly remind everybody that they're playing the hardcore version of Call of Duty, that they're playing the skillful version, the realistic version, the real Jeeves only no pussies allowed playlist. That's who I'm making fun of. Playing hardcore doesn't bother me. I play hardcore. I can enjoy hardcore. I have good friends that like playing hardcore. I don't mind if you want to play hardcore. I would never attack you for playing hardcore. It's the people that have their head up their ass over it that, in my opinion, as a Call of Duty commentator, it sort of, warrants a bit of a response. Did I just refer to myself as a Call of Duty commentator? Oh no, it's taking over. I should have never gone to that midnight release. Good lord, what has become of me? I used to be an FPS channel. There's less of a skill gap in hardcore, that's fine. Play it if you want, doesn't matter, doesn't bother me. Get a big head over it? Oh, fuck no. So I fully agree. Why attack people for playing a different game mode? Why do I get told that I'm a pussy for playing core? I wouldn't survive 3 seconds in hardcore mode. And I get those comments. Why is this guy on my feed? That's how YouTube works. I like the idea. I see these a lot, and I like the idea that somebody thinks this is some sort of burn. Like, why the fuck's this guy on my feed? Or just makes them sound like they're old and senile. Like, where am I? What website am I on? Do I watch Call of Duty videos and that's why YouTube recommends them to me? Where's my dentures? Sounds like a salty core player. That's why you only got 40,000. Only 40,000. As if 40,000 is a small number. Also, bringing up my sub count and using the emoji tells me that you're salty because I outed you for playing on kid mode.
Kid mode.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video for whatever reason. Thank you for making me a part of your free time. I'm tired. I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.